No, this is perfectly fine.
It all comes back to them.
All right,
Anyway.
it comes back to Spanky.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. It's gonna come back to Spanky. Action. Trail name.
Okay, so my name is Fire Squirrel. I'm from Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut, and was hiking the trail this summer. Intentions were to start at Springer and hike home to Connecticut, and I would have the entire Appalachian Trail done in addition to the PCT.
Wait, so you did the PCT already?
Yes.
I shouldn't interrupt that. Oh, that's
No,
awesome.
no, please do.
Okay.
Questions. Yeah, so I was in Hiawassee, whatever trail mile that was, and stayed at the Budget Inn. I actually met my friend Kat over here.
Take 3.
So anyway, yeah, so I was at the Budget Inn in Hiawassee. Kind of knocked on a couple of doors to run into somebody that I knew from the previous week's hike. I ended up staying with these 2 younger dudes and their little Dotson dog, Spanky. Should I speed this up? I'm telling the long version.
No, this is perfectly fine.
It all comes back to them.
All right,
Anyway.
it comes back to Spanky.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. It's gonna come back to Spanky.
Okay, so we're at the Budget Inn, kind of getting everything done. Was intending to have beers with people later, but we backed up the toilet in the room. I didn't know the 2 young men too well, so we wanted to deal with that. But being the Budget Inn in Hiawassee, which by the way, I think that's stolen valor to name your hotel Budget Inn,
Right.
when it's really, just a home.
Yeah, it is not very good.
A home for hikers, but anyway, so we had a backed up toilet, went out to the main road. I'm sober, I think I had 1 beer at that point. And the only thing open in town was the hospital. Went across the street to the hospital, being the thrifty, seasoned hiker that I am. Figured I could ask a nurse and say, that was my last shot to get that thing, plunged for showers in the morning.
Right.
And went inside the hospital, and the nurses were super helpful and really nice. I said, "Oh, clean it. I'll bring it back." No. We'll give it to you. You don't have to bring it back. So they're looking for a plunger. I'm in the waiting room reading a magazine, and the security guard comes in, and I heard you were looking for a plunger. Is that you? Yeah. Sorry, we can't help you. All the closets are all locked. Won't know where to find you one. Oh, no problem, man. He starts escorting me out, which was unnecessary,
out of the hospital.
Unnecessary to begin with, yep. And I leave, I go back across the street, picked up my beer that I left in a bush, but I was not drunk.
All right, that was probably the wrong move, though.
Well, they never even saw the beer.
Oh, okay, got you.
Not even part of the story, but, well, kind of.
Because it goes back to Spanky.
It goes back to Spanky, yes.
All right, good.
All right, so walked back across the street, back down to the Budget Inn, and I think I knocked on 1 more door to see if they had a plunger at the Budget Inn. I had a light on, and I'm smoking a cigarette, about to go to bed, and every cop in town, whoop, 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 just surrounded me. Immediately put me in cuffs. Didn't have a chance, you fit the description, put me in cuffs. Didn't get a chance to say anything. Waited a few minutes. I was in a chair, and they had a security guard come down. I'm sure their buddy, he called his buddies or whatever, said we got one. And
yeah, we got one. He's looking for a plunger.
So yeah, he positively IDs me, and they take me downtown, as they say. So on the ride there, I'm talking to one of the officers, and he's being, decent guy talking to me, and he tells me that I was the 27th hiker in 6 weeks to be arrested in Hiawassee, kind of bragging about it, telling me what they've arrested people for. And
right.
And,
did they tell you what they arrested you for?
Well, the official charge was disorderly conduct. They wanted drunk and disorderly, but I said, you better breathalyze me. So at least I tried.
Yeah.
I said, you better breathalyze me because I am not drunk. They told me that I was belligerent and rude and just everything under the sun that I was not, and never am. Right, guys?
Never.
Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Spam. When you have spam, you get mean.
It's the spam that gets
I
me.
love Spam.
And Spanky.
That's a different story.
Big stuff.
Yeah.
I like that.
So yeah, so I did get brought to jail, and that's where really the fun began, actually. Because
Oh, so this is like the beginning of the
this is
story.
the appetizer. Amuse-bouche.
And should be Spam because it's delicious.
Yeah. So they said I could be bonded out right away, probably knowing full well that the bondsman, since I was the 27th hiker, bondsmen in town don't help out out-of-staters, so I was stuck in there all night. They would whack on the door every half hour to make sure you couldn't sleep. I was begged for water, I wouldn't get water. I was called a Yankee over and over again.
Made up.
It's all true. It's all true. It was just an absolute nightmare. It was a Clerks County jail, which is just outside of Hiawassee, maybe on the outskirts, I don't know.
Okay.
So anyway, the only reason I got out was because to go back to Spanky, the two young hikers, I had my brother, I didn't have my phone or any of my belongings, I thought all my gear was gone.
Right.
And my brother was able to get a hold of these two younger gentlemen by continually calling my phone in the hotel room, and finally got a hold of them. And they were the only people that I could really talk to, and so I said, guys, come on, please, come get me out. I can't, get a bondsman. My bond was $290. Just go to the Valero, get a money order, get me out. And they said, sure, fine, yeah. I said, I'll buy you lunch, I'll give you 20 bucks each, use my ATM card to take a taxi, whatever. Most hikers would just do it anyway.
Right.
These young dudes, whatever. And an hour and a half goes by. They're about to move me to the communal area in the jail with everybody else from the cell that I spent the night in.
On your way to prison?
On my way to prison, yeah. After it was actually an improvement over the 10 by 10 foot cell,
holding area,
juxtaposed against the mountains of hiking every day. And so I was freaking out. It was a long freaked out night. But those guys did. I got a hold of them, or they didn't come. I did get moved to the communal area. I was in there for about 10 minutes. I got one last call. It was like that was it. And I called them again, and they said, dude, we don't want to get involved. And I said, how much is it going to take? So they extorted me for about $300. So it was about a $600 night. And my hike was thus over.
Wow.
So I'm ending at Trail Days. It's a super nice place to be. Yeah.
So it doesn't, ATO doesn't always work out?
No, it does, because everything was great afterwards. I considered going home then, but you don't quit on a bad day.
No.
So just kept hiking and have had a blast the last 3 years.
So, and the hikers that extorted the $300, that was Spanky.
The dog, their little puppy was
yeah.
I'm not going to give their names. They wanted to hike next year.
Oh, well, that's very nice. Well, that is the story of what would you call that story?
The plunger from hell.
The plunger from hell. Don't stay in Hiawassee.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shit.
Do this again. Now you need to tell the actual end of this story.
Okay, so, there's another part too. All right. So, so I do.
Take four.
Take four. So the next day, after getting out of jail, this close to getting a lawyer for $1,500, I did get out with those two younger gentlemen that extorted my money. But I got back to the Budget Inn. I was told by the Budget Inn owner to leave because I was the guy that caused all the trouble the night before. Meanwhile, all the hikers, including yourselves, thought there was a.
Here, now we get her into there.
Thought there was a fugitive on the loose. That's me, I guess, because of the way it all went down with all the. But anyway, the end of the story, the happy ending. So I leave the Budget Inn and I catch a ride with about a 75-year-old man, and we're driving back to, I think that's Dix Creek there,
yeah,
like
Dix
top
Creek,
of Georgia. And tell him the story. He's mortified, especially by the idea that 27 hikers in the last 6 weeks, clearly a hiker's speed trap or whatever. And he starts turning around in a parking lot. I asked him what he's doing. He said he was taking me back to his lake house to spend the night and kind of recuperate. So it was a nice happy ending, as is usual.
Trail magic!
For the trail. Trail magic!
All right, thank you. I like it, I dig it, I want more of it.